What's going on, guys? In this video I want to kind of show you guys how I mark up my charts to trade my prop firms. So with Apex I use Tradovate. A lot of you guys have seen this screen that you're looking at. This is my Thinkorswim. I trade equities, stocks, and options on Thinkorswim, which is Charles Schwab. So I'm very comfortable with it. I'm very comfortable with drawings. I'm very comfortable with the indicators. I'm very comfortable with the chart in general. So multiple monitors, I will always be looking at this to kind of give me my overall yes or no, I'm taking the trade. But obviously I've got to execute on the prop firms, so I've got to use those platforms to execute my trades. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys my Tradovate account. Now again, I don't have everything that I have on Thinkorswim, right? So this creates a little bit of a problem. A lot of times, especially a lot of traders that come into my room, that come into the community, they either are using TradingView or they're using NinjaTrader, they're using Tradovate, Top Step X, whatever the case may be. I'm here to tell you that you don't have to have everything like I do. You don't have to have a million different indicators. You basically need to come up with a strategy, and we trade 5 to 6 different entry strategies at Evolution Traders. You need to be familiar with how to execute on your specific platform that you're going to be using. And from there, it's a lot of just confluence, intuition, and managing that risk. So because there is a need for me to get into these platforms to execute on Apex or Top Step or whatever, I just want to have the general basics. And that's kind of what I want to cover with you. Now, is the charting tools the best? Probably not, right? But it's going to be enough to kind of get you by. And a lot of the times I'm scalping off of the 5-minute time frame. A lot of the times I'm using those Thinkorswim charts to do like my hard technical analysis. And then I just kind of get into these charts. And a lot of the times it's a buy market, sell market. A lot of the times it's just exit all at market close. A lot of times it's just clicking right on the chart. You know, if I'm looking at a specific level, let's say for example, I was looking at this low of day breakdown, I put my, an order just a couple of ticks below that to catch this continuation breakdown. I would do a sell stop order. So again, it is what it is. It's very easy to use. Now again, Tradovate is a web-based platform. I like it. Some people hate it. It is what it is. At the end of the day, if it can generate you money, that's fine. If you absolutely hate a specific platform, guess what? You do not need to marry that specific platform, guys. There's other props, there's other platforms, there's other things that you can use. Find one that you can manage. Getting into how I set up the charts, there's going to be a few moving averages on these charts. Again, it's going to be same color coordination as what I use on my Thinkorswim always. So that same color coordination is going to be the white moving average is going to be my 20 SMA always. The green is going to be my 5 SMA. These are all simple moving averages. It's not anything else other than the simple moving average. I'm using the blue line to be my 10-day moving average, the red line to be my 50-day moving average, and the yellow line to be the 200-day moving averages. Now, these moving averages are all moving averages that I trust and respect. Either I'm looking to take trades off of them. For example, the 20 play pivot, I'm looking for those closures over under the 20 SMA. I'm going to use these other moving averages as confluence and or supplier demand, and even as a trailing stop. So let me give you an example. Let's say we get into a long position and it's a 20 SMA and we have the 5 and 10-day moving average trailing right below it. If we break and getting me into that position and that position starts to stall out a little bit and it starts to pull back and it pulls back into my 5-day moving average and it closes under the 5-day moving average, I've got an option. I can exit the trade there, take a smaller hit, or I can give it room to see if it's going to hold up at the next support. The next support should typically be the 10-day moving average. At that point in time, if it closes below the 10-day moving average, I can also ask myself the question, is this more risk than I wanted to assume? If it is, I've got to get out of the trade. If it's not, and I can allow it to kind of consolidate around that area and it holds that area, there's some times where it's going to come back in your favor. The max pain is always normally going to be a reason why candle, which I'm pretty sure you guys are all familiar with. The reason why candle is the candle that closes over or under the 20 SMA. That's the whole reason for why we're taking a trade a lot of the times. Or I can use a closure below the 20 SMA. Okay, so truth be told, when I first started to play around with this strategy years ago, okay, over 5-6 years ago now, I normally used to use the reason why candle as my stop, and then it progressed to tightening up the stop by using the 20 SMA. And sometimes it tightens it up a little bit, sometimes not that much, and sometimes a lot. It makes a big difference. So if a candle technically closes underneath the 20 SMA on a 20 play pivot, that trade technically is broken. Technically it's damaged. Technically you don't want to be in the trade anymore. Okay, so you can always use that as your stop. Some of the other things that I'm going to use in terms of my Tradovate chart is I like to sometimes just mark out high of day, low of day. In this particular case, today is January the 9th. The markets are closed New York session. So what I'm realistically looking at here is London high and low, New York pre-market. Some things that I notice here is we have this swing low, right? We have this swing low going, it looks like it's starting from the Asian session or London session here overnight at around midnight. So this low is going to be something of interest to me, because let's say we do come and we take out this swing low here, right? If we continue to push down and there's a lot of momentum here and I'm in, let's say, a short position, I want to make sure I'm taking profits into this potential double bottom, okay? If it comes down to this area and continues to go lower, there's going to be another setup there. I'm going to need it to break that level, bounce, and then confirm. Now this box is just a drawing tool. If you go over here to like your drawing tools, you go to shapes, you can go over to rectangle, and you can draw these different boxes on your screen. Now, the reason why I've drawn this box is to just kind of visualize that if this trade, let's assume that the markets are open. If this trade here, okay, if this trade gets rejected here at my 20 and 200-day moving average, and it starts to come down and it starts to come down a little more, we can kind of see here that it's had multiple touch points in this zone, right? We had a touch point here with a bounce. We had a little bit of a higher low here with a bounce. We had a flush and then a bounce. So if we get down into this area again, do you think that I'm going to want to start a short position right here at the top of this box or in mid-range of this box? Probably not, right? It's acted as an area of support in the past. So what I'm going to want to do is allow it to come to this area, allow it to bounce once more, put in a lower high, now creating a staircase down. And once we lose this low wick, I would consider doing one of two things. Taking a quick scalp where I'm going to look for 5 to 10 points, or allowing it to break, putting in a new low, bouncing into my zone, and then confirming that new low, and I'll look to take a trade there with full intentions of trying to target this next swing low back here, right? Now, again, a lot of times traders get confused, like, well, what was that previous low? Was it Asian session low? Was it London low? What was it? Was it the 30-minute opening range? What's the level on the screen, right? Doesn't matter, guys. Doesn't matter. As long as it was an area of significance in the past, it can continue to be an area of significance in the future. So I'm not going to decipher and waste my time with 10-15 minutes trying to figure out, oh man, I forgot, like let's say, for example, the chart's trading like this, and it's like you have this line down here, right? You've got this area of demand down here. I'm not going to be scrolling back and trying to figure out, I forgot if this was a 30-minute low. I forgot if this was yesterday's low. Was it London low, Asian low? I'm not going to do that. I know that I've already marked it on my chart. It's significant. I'm going to respect it. The same way I respect my moving averages. Just like if we were coming down into a 200-day moving average, I'm going to respect it. If I'm coming down into this level, I'm not going to take 15-20 minutes to try to scroll left of the chart and decipher, when I drop that line. It's an area, it's a pivot point, it's a level that I need to focus on. It's telling me that if I'm short, it's an area of demand. So it's telling me if I'm short, I need to take profits into it. Now, if we're going to continue to scroll down and we're going to continue to trade down, then we're going to break that level. There's going to be some type of consolidation, some type of back test around that area, and it's going to get rejected. And then it's going to confirm that new low through this pivot that we have here. Okay. And then that's when you would continue the momentum down with the short side. A lot of times it's just being patient, and truthfully speaking, excuse me, truthfully speaking, it's just waiting for these areas and these levels to kind of confirm and give you your opportunity to take the trades. Okay, so this is how I use my Tradovate charts. Again, it's pretty bare bones, I would say. You know, it does have some stuff on it, but it's not going to have everything. Like, for example, I'll give you guys some things that it's not going to have that I have on my other chart. It's not going to have my linear regressions, okay, which is fine. It's not going to have, you know, all of the other moving averages that I have, which is fine. Not going to put Bollinger Bands on it. That's fine. Because a lot of the times I'm not really charting on this screen. This monitor, this screen that you guys are looking at is off in the distance. It's on another monitor that's not normally on screen. So I don't really need to study it. I've got the main charts that I like to look at that I'm comfortable with, where I've got the 1 hour time frame, and I've got 5-minute time frame all side by side with the way I like to chart. What else is it not going to have? It's not going to have the ATR, which I could put ATR on here as well. But what else will it not have? It's not going to have my arrow indicators kind of popping up showing me when I close over under the 20 SMA. Again, any indicator is not used as, hey, you know, it's flashing, I need to get into a trade long or short. It's just an alert. It's like an alarm system, right? How many times has your guys' alarm on the phone went off and you guys hit snooze 5-6 times and then get up 20-30 minutes later, right? It's letting you know to start paying attention to the chart. Okay, so I don't realistically need it. You know, I don't need the arrows to tell me when to buy or sell. I basically am watching the chart. I'm watching the 20 SMA. I'm watching the candle close over. I mean, I have eyes. You guys have eyes as well. So let's use them. And clearly, if it closes over the 20 SMA, that's your reason why, right? We don't need an indicator to tell us that. We don't need an arrow to tell us that. Now, does it help sometimes if maybe you're doing something else and you have some alert go off or something? Sure, right? But at that point, we're kind of getting lazy, right? It's great to have. Again, don't get me wrong. If you can put an indicator on your chart, if you can have it alert you every time we have a crossover of the 20 SMA, fine. But what I'm saying is, don't emphasize on it. Don't stress it. Like, it doesn't mean your trading is going to fail just because you don't have it, right? You don't need to sit there and pout and feel sorry for yourself. Now, there are custom indicators that people can build, scripts that people can add. I don't even get into that. Like, I'm not even going to waste my time with all of that, just due to the fact that I've been doing this for so long. I'm not out here seeking and searching new things and making sure that I have everything perfect. Guys, at the end of the day, you should be able to take off everything of your chart and just draw your own supply and demand zones, or just trade a bare naked chart and be able to still catch moves. The only reason why you're adding things to your chart is so that you can be a little bit more lazy. And not have to, you know, manually do this stuff each and every single day, right? But even as the day goes on, I still mark out levels. Like, let's say, for example, you know, this price trades up and then it comes back down and it does take out this low of day. And I do take that scalp short. And let's say we put in a new low somewhere right around here, right? Let's say we put in a new low somewhere like right around here. Okay. A lot of the times I will add another line there. Why? Because I'm just going to constantly move that new low down so I can visually be lazy. And what that means is that if we bounce from this new low and we get rejected here and we do confirm going down, it's going to give me another reason to want to take a continuation trade into that next area of demand, right? So again, as the day goes on, you need to be marking up your charts. So for example, if you guys play 15-minute opening ranges, 30-minute opening ranges, there's indicators, there's things that you can add to your chart that it's going to auto plot that on your screens. But truth be told, a lot of the times, probably 70-80% of the times, I don't use any of that. As the day forms and as the first 15-minute candle closes, I'll mark out my high and low. As the first hour has come to a conclusion, right? As the first hour has come to a conclusion, I'll mark out my initial balance range. Like, I do a lot of this stuff manually, because when you do things manually and when you actually plot supply and demand levels on your chart, you tend to trade them better, because one, you've already done the research. Two, you've had to physically mark up and draw on your charts, meaning you're going to have a little bit better understanding of what you're actually looking at versus just having these things populate on your chart and you have no idea what it is. That's when you start to tend to scramble and you start to tend to lean on those indicators too much. I never want to lean on any one indicator, because at the end of the day, I'm the trader, right? I'm the trader. I'm the one who's clicking the button to get into the trade. I'm the one who's managing the risk. I'm the one who is, having to trust my entry and, my take profits and stop losses. So I don't need an indicator to kind of tell me that. Indicators are used to kind of help you. And the whole purpose behind this video is to kind of show you that even though I do have a chart that has everything that I love to use on it, I do still have to get in here onto this chart intraday, and I have to execute where I'm buying market, selling market, where I'm putting stop buys and stop sells, right? Where I'm closing a position because it just went against me and I'm not going to let it hit my stop loss, right? And this is kind of what I look like on a day-to-day, what it looks like on a day-to-day basis, pretty much. It's very simple. And again, for those of you guys who do trade with prop firms and you guys are using Tradovate, this is all you really need, right? If you want to kind of trade the way that I trade and you guys want to use some of the setups that I'm using, this is going to get you by, right? We don't need to go crazy and scramble around and add a bunch of other different crap on there. This is pretty much going to get you by. If you guys need those Apex accounts, code DAnthony always works at the best discount that Apex is currently offering. If you guys want to join the room, we're doing something very special. There's going to be a lot of changes here in 2025. We're going to do a lot more live streams on YouTube, one. We're going to do more screen shares inside the community Discord where we're actually showing, the entries and the exits and where we're taking profits versus just showing kind of the overall setup and the strategy and walking through the trade when we're in them on those live calls. But we're adding another trader, and we're probably going to be adding a couple of more traders to the room that are going to be having their own channels where they're going to share their screen and also trade as well. So if you guys are interested in trading New York pre-market or, that London kind of hours, not in the middle of the night, but, a little closer to the New York Open, and you're looking to trade that New York Open, we are going to have a scalper that's going to be trading that New York Open where you guys can get in the room with all the other community members. And then I will come in about an hour after the market, 30 minutes after the market, when things have kind of set up, and trade my setups, right? Because a lot of the times I don't trade pre-market. My trade window is between, I'm in California, so it's 6:30 to around 10:30. And I don't really trade those 4 hours, but that's my open window where if I do get a setup I'm interested in trading. Sometimes I'm done trading in 30 minutes because the setup, it worked and there's no reason to take another setup. But so we're going to have different segments. We're going to have different rooms that are going to be open. If you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys hop into the community. Again, that link's going to be down in the description box. You're going to want to be a gold member. Again, whether you choose to elect to be a lifetime member or a yearly member and trade with us for as long as we do this, right? Or you're looking to be a monthly member, if it's something that you could see benefiting you, seeing other traders trade, hearing us talk out our trades, hearing us how we're marking up these levels, interacting with the adjustments that are made on a day-to-day basis, such as, sometimes we come into a day where the volatility is through the roof, right? Where you can get into a trade, and typically if you're looking for 20-30 points on a setup, you might want to cut it down in half, right? Those adjustments need to be heard in real time, because every day, even though the setups never change, the adjustments need to change in terms of how much we're looking for on a stop loss and how much we're looking for on a take profit due to the volatility. So if that might help you, you can definitely join in there. And then also we offer the course, right? So all of my strategies outlined in one central place. A lot of mindset and psychology stuff, a lot of risk management stuff based on evaluations to funded accounts, completely two different ways to trade those. A lot of how I'm marking up my charts, the entirety of it. A lot of things of when I'm adjusting stop losses and when I'm not taking trades. Sometimes you get a perfect setup, what looks like a perfect setup, quote unquote, to your strategy, but there's times where you have to let it go. There's reasons why that needs to happen on a day in and day out basis. And a lot of times traders will just say, hey, here's my setup. They jump into the trade with both feet down and it gets smoked. And then they're kind of wondering, like, I'm supposed to get in. Why did it lose, right? Well, more than likely, you're probably missing a small piece of that puzzle. And that's those small pieces that we're trying to look in the couch cushions for and find each and every single day, and you can get that live. So with that being said, those links are all down in the description box below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on your way out of here. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys my Tradovate charts and what they look like on a day in and day out basis. I'll catch you guys on the next video.